Action!
Oh.
Shut!
Gonna work or no? Maybe not. Might not work. Let's see. Replay? I don't know.
Shut!
That one. Want an intro?
Action! Shut!
Only on for a few minutes anyway. Damn thing will work. Oh, hell. Well, shake the bacon. Beautiful day here in Johnny Brooklyn.
Sailing vessel and 10 carriage guns to hunt the world's oceans and seas. War to go into harm's way, for all ye other high waters be damned. No lightning, no thunder, no hurricane hail can stand in the face of his wrath. Be beneath these enemies sleep, like cloud in the gates in that road. The tide will rise, every last man shall shake.
Ship is operating water assigned to us for submerged operation by OPSCAT 481018, verified by the Nav and myself. Sounding at 1385 fathom, yield and check the chart. I have verified that my squadron is ready to submerge the ship. I intend to submerge the ship to 155 feet. 5.
My bad, I accidentally pushed the button. Supposed to have CJ on here anytime I go playing with buttons. That's what he's for. Make sure I don't go screwing up. Hold on 1 second. Let me get up here to the top of this screen. What's up, Summer? And Jennifer, Angela, Mary. Good evening. Thanks for joining me. Man, it's beautiful here. John Robson, hello, my friend. Oh, you inboxed me. Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you for letting me know. Johnny Panko, what's up, my old friend up there in Chicago? So yeah, I am feeling a bit better today. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had two really tough days in a row, and it didn't take a lot, man. All it took was open up a box of letters and drawings and artwork from my daughter, and 2 days ago brought me to my knees. I mean, it did. It brought me to my knees, and my depression was so bad for the last 2 days. I had a hard time functioning. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's just the honest to God's truth that a lot of people don't see, right? And some people might call it some sort of a manic or bipolar, whatever. Right, it's trauma. It's trauma from not seeing my kids. It's trauma from, which many of you know. You can attest to this, okay? That traits that are oftentimes exhibited by men. Anger's the big one, right? That's oftentimes that is what you're seeing is the manifestation of pain that they've internalized, and that's why a lot of men, you know, they tell them they need to go to anger management. They got anger. Look, we don't have anger problems just for the sake of having anger problems. Not seeing your children for this length of period is an unalterable damage that's done to you. So I try and share even my most vulnerable moments with the world because it's not all peaches and roses around here. It's hard. It's hard work what we do. Those of us who remain in this and have stayed committed to this cause and ensuring that reform is brought. And on that note, I want to take a moment to really give a huge shout out to the Arkansas Advocates for Parental Equality team, Gina Indelicato and Patrick Fraley, and all of those here in Arkansas that have been a part of pushing the 50-50 legislation here in the state. And that legislation should be headed to the governor's desk potentially as early as, well, before this week is over or sometime next week. And that's huge. Senator Alan Clark here in Arkansas was the lead sponsor of that bill. it cleared the House, or I'm sorry, yeah, it cleared the House, I think, with like a 71 to 16 margin. And so Arkansas right now is on the cusp of passing the first 50-50 legislative bill with a clear and convincing standard. That's a big deal, folks. That's a really big deal. And there is a lot of congratulations to go around there. And I'm glad I got to play whatever small part I did to contribute with that. And I wish I could have done more, in all honesty. But that team has done a magnificent job, and they should all be extremely proud of themselves, because I know that I'm very proud of Arkansas and the work that they have put in here. Bar none, probably one of the not probably best job I've seen done thus far. So pretty amazing. What else? Matt Gaetz out there. You guys see that? Some small talk. Matt Gaetz is seeking a congressional inquiry into the scams running these probate courts. Surprise, surprise, judiciary, your asses are at it again. And you might have barked up the wrong tree this time with Matt Gaetz. I don't know. That guy's a firecracker. I don't care what you say about him, what you think about him. That guy's a firecracker, man. And he goes at him. Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate you. Don't mind me. I put my camera in a bad spot here on my phone. It's whatever. My bad. No, the 50-50 parenting will not help me in the state of Arkansas. And I've been in contact recently with the Military Liaison's Office of the Attorney General here in Arkansas, Ms. Rutledge's office. And I've also been in contact with Tom Cotton's office, as well as Senator Trent Garner. These are all conversations that I've had in the last few days, revolving my personal matter. And if all of you heard the phone calls that I've been through and the hours that I've sat on the phone, I can't tell you how incredibly frustrated and tired I am of lateral transfers throughout this country, that nobody wants to bear responsibility and step up and help a fellow human being. They're content to watch me and my children. Like it blows my mind. It boggles my mind that it doesn't bother these folks that I haven't seen or spoken to my daughter in 3 years. It doesn't even faze them. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, they just, it's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing. I'm like, how would you like it? Honestly, how would you like it? Do you think this is humane? It's not humane, folks, what we're dealing with. This is a sick, twisted, perverted system, which is why I combat it so hard. It's immoral. It's disgusting. There's nothing family oriented about it. And I believe it's the top issue in this country, and it's one reason that I fight for it over anything. So, yeah, we do need to hold them responsible, and that's part of developing these platforms and building out more platforms. So a couple updates on that. We are already successfully partnering with other veteran nonprofits here in the country, and I am looking forward to the Veteran Liberty Network working together with all of these other nonprofits to further these liberty-minded issues and causes, because they all tie into one another. They all impact one another. And so many people have to take time and opportunity to set egos aside, set your personal biases and differences aside. And that can be really hard. If considering my own position, I say a lot more about the negative impacts to dads than what I do to moms, right? And that's part of my bias as a father. But it's also part of the recognition of what the actual data looks like and how men have been more adversely impacted for a longer period of time. But it certainly does not mean that moms aren't being impacted and that I don't care about moms. And this idea that I'm strictly a men's rights activist is crap. That's all crap. I've got a daughter and a mother and women that I love in my life, and plenty of you that are I call my friends, and some of you family. So this idea that I'm a men's rights activist is nonsense. Do I advocate on issues that I see from domestic policy that's negatively impacting men? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? That's stupid. Why is it a bad thing to say, hey, there's this demographic over here that's these domestic policies are really harming? I think maybe we could talk about those, table these issues, identify who's getting their pockets stuffed full of money, and in exchange for our rights. So I'm not going to apologize whatsoever about the things that I talk about or the positions that I take. I believe that I can adequately defend myself and my positions and what I believe. So, but for those of you who want a snippet or something that you can take, and I know you'll encounter people throughout your travels, and they'll hear of my name, and they'll misapply MRA to me. And yeah, I'm a man. I'm a father. Damn right I care about men. Sure do. I care about women just as much, though. God decided we needed both of them, men and women, right? And if God decided that we needed both of them, I think that's pretty important. I think that's pretty damn important, because guess what? You know, men can't give birth, okay? Women give birth. There is tremendous power and healing and nurturing and love inside women, right? That the way that a woman connects to society is far different than a man. And I'm of the position that we honor that and we protect that by also acknowledging the importance of fathers, and that if we don't want women abused in this country, this is a real problem I have with the domestic violence industry. And many of you women out there have been abused. You've been harmed. And that pain should be acknowledged. What you've been through should be acknowledged. And it shouldn't be discounted or taken lightly. And that means we have to have a thorough, in-depth conversation about how young boys are far more likely to grow up into men that will abuse women and commit domestic violence when they are growing up absent their biological fathers. You can't replace fatherhood. I don't care who you are, right? That was decided by nature or God, whatever your preferred belief system. I don't really care. Somebody else has called me. Man, everybody's trying to call me right now. Everybody tries to call me. I am on the phone. I'm doing a live feed. Hopefully it's not an emergency. And I've got a conference call here in a few minutes. So anyways, yeah, you're right. Not that women don't do concrete, Jennifer. I see a lot of women, more so now, working in more industrial level fields and welding and mechanics and plumbing and all these other things. And it's a wonderful thing. I'm not mad about it whatsoever. I think that for women, if that's your prerogative and that's what you want to do and you want to pursue it, great. But I think we've really done a disservice to women and moms and society out there by driving this narrative that chasing a dollar is more fulfilling for a mother than doing what God or nature designed her to do, in being a homemaker and a caretaker and a nurturer, right? That is a beautiful damn thing. Our nation should want to go back to the days, I believe, of it only takes one parent to provide for the home, financially. But that cannot be done until we cure these issues with inside these family courts and domestic relations attorneys driving wedges, shutting down the communication in this nation. The red flag should go up when an industry prides itself and builds itself upon becoming the sole communicators. Right? Communication is key in anything, in any relationship. And the fact that we can't co-parent or don't co-parent, how do the attorneys make that any better? How do they set a good example for this to transpire when they, in fact, themselves, like Raymond Bolt, Laura Horner, Ronald Bell, all of these dirtbag attorneys out there that then go in and they grandstand before these judges, like Judge Carr, that coward in Cook County who kicked me off of his feed today because he alleged that I recorded his court hearing for my attorney, Ted Bush. And let me just go on the public record and say, I didn't record it, Judge Carr, you monumental moron. I streamed it to Facebook as a reporter and as a journalist. They can stream to YouTube, but you see, this is how tyranny exists, right? Recognize this. It's good for them. It's good for Cook County and Lake County and Illinois to stream to YouTube with a disclaimer that tells you, the citizen, they threaten you that if you record or download their public live stream, mind you, a public live stream, you could watch this son of a bitch in India, right? You could watch the freaking hearing in India if you wanted to. Are they going to arrest the guy in India for downloading it? What are they going to do? How are they going to enforce this, right? Judge Carr wants to threaten me with arrest for streaming his hearing. You know what? I'll stream a judge's hearing all day long. You need a hearing streamed? Contact me. Maybe I'll stream it for you. It depends. There are factors involved, right? They can threaten me with criminal contempt and lock me up in jail. They can try anyway. So I take the risk, right? And I'll take a lot of those risks for you. You got a hearing coming up? Are they being dirty? Are they being dirty? Okay. Yes or no? You want somebody to step in and monitor it? Provide you with a record? Well, I got a team of people that's willing to take those risks. Not for free, but they'll take those risks. Okay? But your money would probably be better spent there, actually defending yourself and holding these people accountable, than anywhere else. But I would encourage you to record yourselves, to stream yourselves. Get as much of anything and everything you can on tape, on audio, whatever. And when in the back of your mind, it's blinking around that, oh, they might put me in jail, they might hold me in contempt, blah, blah, blah. These bastards are breaking the law every day. They're violating due process rights every single day. You're not violating a law. You're violating their rule. You're violating their rule, and you're overcoming their intimidation, their fear, the fear that they trying to drive into you, threatening to deprive you of your liberty, threatening to withhold your children. That's why this cause is righteous. That's why we are morally correct. That's why we can stand in confidence in public. I can stand anywhere and I'm in the right. I can stand on Supreme Court steps. I can stand inside the Lake County Courthouse. I could stand in freaking Iwo Jima and I'm right on this issue all day long, 100%. And these bastards will burn if you want them to. Do you want them to burn? Because I do. I want them to burn. I want their house of cards to come crashing down all around them. And I want to be standing there ripping out another card and another card till it all comes crashing down on their thin little skulls and their tiny little spines. Do not fear these people. Don't fear them. Fear is the methodology of control. They coerce you into silence. When they use fear and intimidation to prevent transparency, that should raise a lot of red flags for you. And for you, if you got one smidgen of patriot inside of you, it should light off just enough of a fire for you to go, yeah, that don't sit right with me, bub. That don't sit right with me. And you should get your ass involved. We want you involved. We need you involved. I haven't stopped. I'm still going. I suck wind many days. Believe me, I have the toughest of tough days, and some days I don't think that I can get my ass up off the floor. major depression, right? Crippling depression. I struggle with it alongside you. I want you to know that. I'm not all smiles. I'm not all laughter. I'm not all pleasantries. I'm not I'm not always this charismatic, handsome. Okay, well, maybe not quite there, but it's tough to be away from my children. Undeniably, inextricably, I cannot separate my heart and my mind from the love of my children and continuing to fight for them. I literally, quite literally, cannot think of anything else. Okay? And any time that I take in between to not do this, it's time that I have to survive, for my own survival. I'm not getting wealthy, right? I'm just a guy in the grind, fighting it alongside you. 36, that is my lucky number. That number follows me everywhere. I'll have you guys know. If it's about your kids, Jennifer, and I believe that it is, I want to see so many more people involved. I want involved. Okay? If I can keep putting one step in front of another, and I can keep fighting, by God, so can you. And we can be better about how we do it. We can be more proactive about how we do it. That is happening. It's slow and it's hard for me, right? I pull resources where I can pull resources. I detest asking for money. It makes me physically ill, and I get irritable and angry at the thought that I need to call people and ask them for their financial support. I fucking hate it. Excuse my language. I hate it. But I know what I'm doing, and I know the path that I'm going, and that the people that are working alongside me, it is a righteous path. It is a just path. We are building a veteran nonprofit with which to go after these systems and deconstruct them. And we deconstruct them by deconstructing the individuals that have built this criminal enterprise. If they break the law this way, in public, with everyone to witness, imagine what they do behind closed doors. Imagine what they're doing with nobody looking. Now, you got a choice. Okay? I've told a lot of people this. Told a guy in New York this not too long ago. We have got to invest in ourselves. We have got to invest in this movement. Yes, financially. Yes, with your time. Yes, with your heart. Yes, with your mind. Yes, with whatever resources you have. You've got resources you don't even think about. They're at your fingertips. They're right there. What could you build locally where you're at? What could you do right there with what you know and what you have, what God gave you, what exists in front of you at this moment? What could you do with it if you just really put your mind to it? We have to think in such a way. And thank God for those that support me. Look, a lot of days, I don't think I get enough support. Okay? That's the God honest truth. For the amount of people that I talk to and the amount of work that I do and what myself and others put in, oftentimes I don't feel like I get the support that I believe that I could get from so many people. Right? And a lot of that's on me, because these people are looking for direction. They're looking for guidance. And a lot of times I don't have the answers. I know what I'm trying to do here. Okay? I know what I'm trying to do here. I know what I'm trying to build here. Would you like us to be mobile? Would you like us to come into your county? Would you like us to investigate your judges? Would you like us to investigate your guardian ad litems? Would you like us to investigate Child Protective Services or DHS? We want to do it. We want to do these things, but we have to have help to do it. End of story. End of story. It requires incredible amounts of time, energy, and resources. I have the connections. I have the network. I'm working to build a nonprofit so that we can seek local, state, and federal grant money to help us to build this, and through private ventures. I'm doing everything that I can to grab and grab on and latch onto anything that I can and get assistance from where I can. Because this fight will not go away this year, next year, the following year. So if we don't invest in now, an investment is into the future, okay? You might not see the dividend at this moment. An investment is for the hope of the future return. Is there a risk associated with investing in me and the Veteran Liberty Network and what we're doing? Damn right there is. Might we not capitalize on what we're trying to do? Damn right that chance exists. But who else you got out there doing it? There's not a lot. There's a handful, right? There's a few handfuls. If it's not me, latch onto somebody else and support them with everything. Grab somebody, grab what they're doing, and help them in any and every capacity that you can. Okay? We need you, and this nation needs you. Jesus, we need you. God, we need you so bad. We need your help. I'd love to see my kids sometimes this century, right? Would love to. Love to see and speak to my kids sometime this century. But this nonsense that they want to do with me, okay? I'm not buying into it, right? They baited me to come to Illinois last spring. This is how sick and perverse they are. Baited me to come to Illinois. Said if I appeared in the courthouse that I was going to get spring break parenting time with my son, Caden. That was a year ago. You know what they did? Locked me up, put me in jail within 5 minutes. That's what they did. Drove, 13, 14 hours to meet Judge Christensen, Janelle Christensen, for the first time last spring. Was led there under false pretenses by Sally Lichter, the guardian ad litem, that if I appeared there and gave my physical address, that was the reason why, what I had to do for my son to come see me. Hadn't seen my son in 18 months at that juncture, I think. I think it was 18 months at that juncture. Yeah. When I hadn't seen my son. 27 months now I haven't seen my son. Okay? You think I'm not suffering along with you? Yes, I am. It hurts me every day like a son of a bitch. Hurts me to the core. Because this is the prison we don't get to escape. They have confined us here. Right here. This is our prison. And there is no escaping it. There is no parole. There is no early release. We don't know when we might get out. And the only thing that will release us from this prison is the relationship with our children. And that's what I'm fighting for. These mandatory vaccine passports should come as no surprise when they have been restricting the liberties of non-custodial parents for a very long time. With no due process, they will suspend passports. I know because they did it to mine. Secured my passport on me with no due process, no hearing, no nothing. That's an immediate revocation of constitutionally protected rights. Immediate, with no due process. Tell me now then that you are surprised that they're going to want to issue these vaccine passports. They have been doing this to non-custodial parents for decades, depriving them of basic natural liberties to travel unimpeded by the state, with little to no due process in many cases. These These are the policies and practices that we want to highlight how asinine they are, how incredibly stupid and damaging and destructive to our communities and masculinity in this nation, which is so incredibly needed at this time in a weakened state with a Joe Biden presidency. He is a weak, spineless commander-in-chief. Never in a million years should that man ever set foot in that White House, ever. It is a national disgrace that that man is in the White House. After what he's done for nearly half a century in politics, that man bears tremendous responsibility for the erosion of masculinity in America, the emasculation of fathers in this nation. Develop 25 million healthy American fathers and see the turnaround that this country has. Respect and honor fathers for how they were created and what God blessed them with. If you just believe in nature, absolutely believe in just nature. Believe it with all your heart. I don't care what you believe. But what I recognize about science and biology in the world around me is that it created a man, it created a male, and it created a female for the purposes of procreation to further that species. I don't care if it's a deer or a lion or a human being. At the most biological, basic, you strip everything away, strip all the Bibles away, strip all the religion away, strip all of the social engineering away, and what do you have? Men and women standing around naked. What happens? Well, like other animals in the animal kingdom, they engage in intercourse because it's fun and it feels great. And it's fun and it feels great because it does a lot of things up here in your brain so that you procreate, so that you seek it more often, right? Sex is amazing and fun and great because nature designed it that way. Nature designed you to enjoy it. Nature designed it for it to be an act at which there is an exchange of life and energy and spirit, that connectedness to another being that is used to create more human beings and further humanity. To me, anything contrary to that is completely unnatural and it violates natural law and God's law. And you don't have to agree with me there. I am not saying to demonize or demoralize anybody who believes differently. I am not saying to treat anybody with disrespect or inhumanely or without regard to their thoughts and emotions and where they come from and their experiences. Even more so, I'm saying we should seek understanding and compassion. We were designed, fathers, to protect and to provide. Our domestic policy has ensured that we can't do that to the capacity and the capability with which we need to, and which our society and our world needs us to. I'm going to keep fighting. And I appreciate all of you who joined me in that support and that endeavor. Every one of you, I do. And if I should say it more. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support that you provide me. I wouldn't be here today, 42 years old and some change, still plugging away if it wasn't for the support of a lot of great people that have loved me and supported me. And I try and make it a point to acknowledge that at as many opportunities as I can. So, that being said, I'm going to sign off here. I need to get on a conference call and call some other people back. So have a wonderful evening. If I don't talk to you, Brian Ulrich, yes, sir. I know I need to catch up with you, my friend. I've got a long road trip here in the next several days. So I think you got my number. Send me a PM if you don't have my number. and we'll get linked up and get some we'll get some work going, my friend. You and I. You're a smart fellow, and I know that you are. So. Yep. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, Ricky. Oh, Ricky, man, what's up, my old friend? How are you? Hope you're well. Yeah, look, and if you want to support me financially, you can here on Facebook. You can over at Patreon, and while things progress slower than I desire, there is progress every single week. We make progress in what we're seeking to accomplish. I want you guys to know that. And it's a tough fight that we're in, right? Those of us who are digging every single day, we're giving it all that we got, right? So thanks again for tuning in, and thanks, Claire, for hanging out with you. Troy, thank you again for joining me. If you want to go over to Patreon again and join me, I would appreciate any financial support you can render. It'll help me to pay the rent on this place that we are building out here, as you can see. And rent is $700 a month, and with utilities and internet, it's probably going to run right around $1,000, maybe a little over $1,000 a month. I do contribute a significant piece of my own money to this endeavor, and I've got other people that are helping as well. But we could certainly use more so that we could lighten the load for more people. So if you're interested in doing that, helping us to get the Veteran Liberty Network up and running to where we have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week network. It's going to be shows, liberty-minded shows that are discussing these issues and pushing for the reform that we need while holding those in office accountable. So it's a hard endeavor, but we can get it done together. Love all of you. Y'all have a very blessed Easter, and be well.